Alright, hey, what to do, everybody? I'm doing another one in a row. Two in a row. Two Ignarist Takes in a row. Yeah, I wasn't really gonna do this, but as I was browsing Twitter, browsing YouTube, kind of my morning, wake up routine. I won't say morning because it's not morning right now. um, it's like, it's already dark. Anyway, yeah, so I kind of couldn't help but kind of save these and want to discuss them, but yeah. So I thought this was kind of hilarious. There was this one thing I found. I actually found it via Hassan's channel, which I'll actually kind of use him later too. But it's about Richard Spencer. Yay! Spencer! Boom. Boom, bitch. Anyway, so he apparently blew up and exploded with some video that got leaked by, I guess, Mayo Yiannopoulos or something. And then this guy tweeted it. It's not clear why. Oh, Yiannopoulos, you're a fucking idiot. All right. Anyway, I just happened to hear that, see Yiannopoulos, want to see what he said. But pretty much, there's some leak audio. Purportedly, not purportedly, it literally does capture Richard Spencer's racist, violent threats after Charlottesville. Are they racist? Yeah. Are they violent? Because I listened to most of it, and I wouldn't outright say it's fucking violent. Just it's quite literally childish. It is you expect this from a fucking SJW PC outrage culture lefty with pink hair, dude. I'm not fucking kidding. This dude is a triggered fucking little pussy. This guy is a fucking pussy. That's just what he is. He's a fucking little beta bitch boy and gets all fucking mad and upset, squeaking like a little kid. You want to hear it? Well, that's fucking quiet. I want noise, thank you. Why is that so quiet? All right. Okay, that is seriously quiet. Holy shit. God damn it. Fucking, come on, work. Boom.
I am so mad. I am so fucking mad at these people. They don't do this to fucking me. We're gonna fucking ritualistically humiliate them.
You're going to ritualistically humiliate them? What's that even mean? Ritualistically humiliate them. Huh? The fuck are you talking about, you little bitch? You little fucking child? Jeez. I just thought this was hilarious.
I am coming back here every fucking weekend if I have to. This is never over. I win, they lose. I want my cookie. I want my first place cookie trophy.
Oh my god, I love it, dude. I love it. I just do love this, because he's just acting like a fucking insecure little child. Look, I don't care that much about Spencer, honestly. He has the right to say whatever he wants, because he has the right to a platform. Though what he says is childish, stupid, and just quite literally just fucking stupid. It's just dumb.
I win. This is never over. I'm gonna hold this grudge until I'm dead. They will lose. I got punched in the face.
I don't endorse punching him in the face either, by the way. I just thought that was hilarious when I saw it, though. But oh my god, what a little bitch. I just love this. I love it. Oh my god. Look, okay. Go back on my streams and videos and shit. Do you see me ever react identical to this, to anything? I've gotten triggered. I've gotten upset. I've yelled. I've done that shit before. But I guarantee you'll never ever see me, even in the future, act like that over a fucking riot. Well, not riot. Over a fucking protest that your group did. Which, if I'm remembering details correctly of the Unite the Right rally and shit, there was, I don't know, someone who literally ran a bunch of counter-protesters over with her fucking car. There was I remember seeing a video of some dude pulling a gun on somebody, a part of the right-wing groups. There was, like, a lot of the, quote, violence and instigation came from your side. Now, does that mean Antifa and the left didn't? Of course. They were also being violent and aggressive in their own ways in different times during this whole broad protest event. I would say that both sides in the whole Charlottesville Unite the Right, whatever the fuck shit happened 2 years ago, I'd say they're both wrong. They're all wrong. They still have the right to protest, but the violence and everything that enacted from it, regardless who fucking did it, is wrong. And that's why I laugh at Spencer, because he's a fucking child and an immature little twit muffin and has nothing better to do than to bitch and moan that a bunch of pink-haired college kids who don't like that he's a racist defeated him, and now he's all upset and all triggered like a little alpha male. Yeah, this is definitely what someone who is strong, very secure about themselves, who is very alpha-like and very dominant, this is something that they would totally do. Now, this is what a beta and a little omega bitch does. This is what a little boy does when they got caught getting their hand in a cookie jar. I didn't do it! No, I just wanted my cookie! You know, this is what they do. This is what they fucking do. You're a child, Spencer. You're a literal, emotional, immature little fucking child. And you don't like it when you don't get your way. Meh. I don't like it that there's brown people protesting against me. What a fucking faggot, dude. Richard Spencer is a faggot. That's what he is. Because he's not a faggot because, oh, he's gay. He is because he's an insecure little bitch. That's a faggot to me. When you're an insecure little bitch boy that can't own your fucking position, you're a faggot. That's what you are, Spencer. Maybe you should own that. Maybe you should own it. Take the dick up your ass like a good little boy. Dumb fuck. Let's listen to more of this, because he goes, like, on racial shit and stuff, too.
That's how the world fucking works!
That's how the world fucking works? Oh my, okay.
Little fucking kites! They get ruled by people like me! Little fucking octoroons! My ancestors fucking enslaved those pieces of fucking shit!
Oh my god, I love it. I love this. He's like, you really... Yeah, guess what? And what are you doing, you little baby? You're fucking whining and crying and squeaking like you're going through puberty again, you stupid little shit. Oh, my ancestors enslaved those people. Well, guess what? There's probably ancestors from other peoples that have enslaved my people, probably. What, do you think white people weren't enslaved? Of course they were. Like, people, humans, regardless if they're black, white, or not, get enslaved. Because back in the day, our morals and cultural norms from like thousands of years ago were different. So slavery, literal genocide, like outright doing scorched earth policy against your enemies, that was justifiable and okay and was totally seen as normal. Nowadays, that's pretty fucked up. And I would also agree to say that maybe we shouldn't do those type of things and we should kill those type of ideas. Now, why are you making such a big fucking point? Because you're insecure that, oh, now that times have changed and the people that used to be enslaved aren't enslaved anymore, and you don't like the fact that your ancestors used to do that, but now you can't anymore, and you feel like there's some sort of disconnect? Like, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ, you stupid little insecure little faggot simp. Grow up. Grow the fuck up. You're going to worry about literal, arbitrary, meaningless fucking nonsense, such as my ancestors. Guess what? Your ancestors don't give a fuck what you do. They don't even care about what you are. They don't even know about what your future is going to look like. Their ancestors, what their reality is their reality. They can't predict what your future is going to look like. They don't give a shit about what you do. So why don't you do the same? I don't give a fuck what my ancestors did. I don't. I really don't, because who cares? Who cares? Like, oh no. Oh, my ancestors conquered, went up and went to Vinland and stuff like that because I got some Viking heritage and shit. Oh, well, I should be utterly proud of that. I can't believe that I can't do that. I need to go conquer Canada again. I'm not going to go, no. They're like, that's stupid, that's immature, and that's very tribalistic and honestly very fucking dumb. And if you're going to do that, then that's what you are. Sorry.
I rule the fucking world.
Oh, yeah, you're totally ruling the world if you're fucking squeaky, emotional, tiny little, I'm offended, I can't, oh my god, I rule the world, how dare you,
Those pieces of shit get ruled by people like me.
I love the projection because the people that you're quoting or you're ruling are actually ruling your emotions. They're ruling your thought process. You want to know why? Because they triggered you. They got you upset. They got you, quote, offended. Actually, the people that you, quote, are ruling over you. You are their bitch, Spencer. They own you. They rule over your emotional, simple-minded fucking ass, you dumb shit. I love it. I love anyone who thinks that his ideas are actually fucking merited in any basis of reality, because he's just a fucking moron. Like, oh yeah, he has like decent economic policy and shit, you know, when you take his race issues out. I don't care. So what? Oh, you got some economic sense. Guess what? A lot of people do. A lot of people have some, their own ideas and some economic sense. That ain't a fucking end-all be-all to whether, I respect you as a person, because I don't. I don't, Richard. You're a fucking moron. You're a retard. Go fuck yourself. I actually had some shit about how Hassan was saying stuff, because he said he was saying some shit in here that doesn't make sense, like octoroon. I actually don't even know what that means. Oh, fuck. Oops. So he actually did explain it, so I kind of wanted to use him to kind of explain what that means, because I actually had no idea what that meant.
Here because it is relatively contextually appropriate.
And he's now loud as fuck.
That most of you have probably never even heard before.
I'm turning him down. Holy shit.
Now, this is
that video was so quiet. He was louder.
1/8 black. Okay. The only reason why I know this term.
Oh wait, what? Oh, I think I talked over it. Hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
A term for 1/8. Called octoroon. Now, this is a term for 1/8 black, okay?
Okay. I guess that's what octoroon is. All right, let me look at the word again. Yeah, it's 8 rune. Oh. Yeah, okay, I see it. All right. Okay. That's like, that's such a, I mean, when you have to like, all right, Spencer, when you, bruh, you have to fucking, you like, you can't even just, I don't know, whatever. He's just an emotional, angry little bitch boy. And he has to just, like, pull out random words from, like, 1943 to make his point. Like, dude, like, come on, bro. Actually, it's not 1940. This word is, I actually found out some context of the word.
The reason why I know this term is because it was still used until last month to designate mixed-race couples in the state of Virginia. A bunch of mixed-race couples in the state of Virginia sued the state of Virginia so that they would no longer have to put in their races. And we looked through that before.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much like the only context I was able to kind of like be like, oh, that's what that means. So I guess it's still used today, so whatever. I just thought, at least, because I think everyone knows what kike means, but octoroon, I was like, what the fuck? So I had to kind of like hear what that was. But yeah, all right. That's pretty much about it for the Spencer little thing, because it's whatever. Because anyway, yeah. I mean, there's not much to it. It's just that it was just hilarious. I just wanted to just react to that. I just had to. Like, oh my god, what a bitch. It's not the only thing I'm reacting to either, by the way. I got a few other things, but geez, that was just exceptional. At least to me, that was pretty exceptional. It's like, god, I don't think I've seen Maya Yiannopoulos like freak out that bad before, dude. Wow, Like, I've seen alt-right dudes freak out before, but never like that. I mean, I'm being serious. I don't think I've seen someone just freak out that hard. Maybe there is. I don't know, but that was pretty fun to watch. That was pretty fun to watch. I mean, and the reason why I was saying like he might have like sensible economic policy because apparently he's like one of those far right nationalists that and white supremacists that have like socialist economic policy and shit, like post capitalistic. It's just that they only want that for the whites, basically. Hence why I don't give a shit about his policy. I don't give a fuck. He's just a dumb shit. Like, I mean, he just literally tries to construe anything into a race issue, and he just connecting dots that don't exist or that don't connect, at least not in the way that he connects them, and just makes a stupid fucking ad hom point. And doesn't, I mean, yeah, it might seem, at least on the face value of it, makes sense, but when you actually dig a little bit, doesn't. It's just like, come on, bro. Come on, Spencer. Come on, you can be better than that. You can be better than your contemporaries like that. Come on, bro. You don't have to be such a faggot like that, dude. You can own your shit a little bit. You can I don't know. You can be less like a baby, squeaking off like you hitting puberty again. I mean, seriously, dude. He was like squeaking like 4 or 5, 6 times in the course of a minute, dude. Like, jeez. I mean, I was barely hearing it, but there was like some people laughing in the background and shit. It's just like, wow. I mean, I wonder who's actually laughing. Is it just fellow racist dumb shits, or are there people like who can overhear this and thinking he's just a child? Like, there has to be some people on the right that have to like see Richard Spencer for what he is, you know? There has to be. There has to be. Now, I'm not saying he's just like some charlatan, because he is, but I mean, not just because of that, but just as like an emotional, immature fucking child. He projects what he calls the left. A bunch of SJW, PC outrage, I'm going to go scream because I'm offended mentality. That's what Richard Spencer just did, right? Well, I mean, if he's doing that in his own private time, imagine how often he actually does do that. You know, and then how much it shows how disingenuous and dishonest he really is, because if, like, you can't help but freak your shit because, oh, you know, a rally didn't go the way you wanted to, and then practically rant and scream and squeaking off like a 12-year-old puberty-induced child playing Call of Duty and mad that he got quiz-scoped, you know, whatever the fuck. Like, if you're going to be that upset over it, then maybe you should look at yourself before you project. Anyway, I have a boatload, so I'm going to smoke it real quick because, goddamn. This guy love some people's puritanistic views and shit. And you know what? I actually got another one. It's a video, but it's not like, I'm not playing the video. It's the Progressive Voice, but whatever. It's just a tweet. It's just a tweet I want to look at. So Benjamin Dixon was saying progressive commentators still telling you that identity politics don't matter or are going to help you lose this election. This concludes my TED Talk. Well, 1, that is the shortest, most stupidest TED Talk I've ever seen. And 2, wrong. So I actually don't know or honestly care what the Progressive Voice has to say, really. He looks like he's kind of... You know what, I'm not even going to continue with that, because I was going to say that he looks like he's, like, in a cave somewhere, you know, like, about to, like, snort up some Adderall or some shit, but honestly, like, if I had a camera on my screen and on my room, it'd be worse, so I'm not going to comment on that, but whatever. The tweet, do I agree or disagree? I utterly disagree. I mean, I said wrong earlier, so, I mean, here's why, because identity okay. I mean, let me take this hit real quick and we'll explain, because it's a whole big tangent we're about to go on here. But then again, when are we not going on long tangents? All right, let's get started with this. All right, so do identity politics matter? No. Here's why. Because I would say that policy matters. So why is identity politics to some people such a big thing? Well, I think you can make the example looking at Richard Spencer. Like, he's an example of why identity politics shouldn't matter. because he's when you base your argument off of just, oh, you're a little Jewish guy thing, then it's just like, yeah, you're not going to really win a lot of people who care much about the policy substance of certain things. It's like, okay, what are we talking about here? Well, if you're like, oh, this group of people want to push, let's say, like Medicare for all, right? Which a lot of people agree with. And this is actually a very prominent example for today, because you get a lot of, like, these stupid ideas of, like, oh, well, if you get the typical, like, policy things of how you're going to pay for it, stuff like that, but then you get these weird little things that I've been noticing of, oh, well, what about the healthcare of, like, these people? Like, oh, all of a sudden, like, if you're trying to do that, you're trying to make a white man get their, healthcare and then undermine it. I've heard this argument before. It's a type of identity politics because there's no argument for or against single-payer healthcare and stuff like that. So when the economics don't work, go to the identity politics, and that's what a lot of these do. And the whole argument with reparations is another form of identity politics. Another form is with immigration. And it's on both sides of this one, by the way. I'm not going to just label the right on this. It's also the left. But let's go talk about the right for a second, so we can at least show it's on both sides here. Well, the right will say, oh, the Mexicans are taking our jobs. Well, okay. Or just any immigration group, whatever. If it's not Mexicans, insert the group. All right. You know what? On just the policy substance and just like looking at a blank slate, just without the fact that, oh, it's Mexicans doing or whatever. Yeah, sure, to some extent, yeah, sure. But what type of jobs? It's jobs that they don't want to work. Not them, but just average Joe Americans don't want to work. Do you want to work on a grape farm? Do you want to work on like a gigantic fucking industrialized farm and like bust your fucking ass like 13 hours a day? Like, I guarantee you're probably, like, you might initially be like, yeah, I'd do that, but come back in a few months. So, like, I mean, there's jobs that they will definitely take and actually have boosted our economy because of this that most people in America don't. And is that a bad thing? No. And which also kind of brings in the whole argument of like, oh, well, in fact, actually, here's how you can make an argument against, like, oh, the immigration's taking our jobs away and shit. Here's an argument against that you can go against that isn't identity politics. It's like, well, let's invest in automation, which also would take away jobs just on a blank slate, period. But if you automate the menial drudgery jobs that people don't want to do, then also people are probably not going to be as incentivized to come over to the country because there's a lack of job opportunity too. But at the same time, there's probably at least some form of safety net for people that don't have to work those menial drudgery jobs. So there's a lot, and it's a very complex issue with that alone. But there's also the left too. So what will they say when it comes to immigration? Oh, like, they're all good people and stuff, and they just want to come in for opportunity and stuff. So we should so we should have like a pure, like, very either loosely regulated or not regulated at all type of border. And that, to me, is also another form of identity politics, because it's more so as a blinder at that point to looking at the actual negatives of a group. Like, identity politics can work as like either let's not look at negatives or let's not look at positives of a group. Because you're trying to identify certain things that you want to adhere to that certain group. And that's what identity politics is. And that notion alone, I reject utterly. Because, just because one group, happens to have, like, for example, like, just because someone happens to be Arabic or happens to be Muslim or some shit, doesn't mean that I'm instantly going to identify that group based off like based off the politics of give a situation between a lot of radical Muslim terrorism and shit like that. I'm not going to instantly assume, oh, that person must be a terrorist. That is through and through identity politics. And at the same time, I'm not going to assume that person is going to be open to me with welcome arms and, wants to be my best friend and is totally okay with gay rights and shit like that. Like, I can assume that the person at least is not going to be a terrorist, but also is probably not going to be okay with gay rights and shit like that because they're Muslim. Does that mean that I'm right? No. In fact, I could be very well wrong about that individual. But that's why identity politics is fucking stupid, because it just gives you these stupid pre-assumptions to a group or to an organization or to a person just because they happen to have some aspects of a group that you adhere as either negative or utterly positive, whatever it is. That's why I think identity politics shouldn't matter, and to me they don't. But the reason why they do is because it is so much in our political climate of, oh no, it's about this group, it's that group, it's the black communities that are all oppressed and shit. It's the white communities that are being forgotten now, and in the Midwest, all of it is fucking absurd, because it undermines the whole actual problem that people in general in this country get fucked by the whole system that perpetrates a lot of these issues. You think it's just because, like, oh, some random fringe minority group is freaking out about reparations suddenly now that's like a major concern amongst average people? No. The system orchestrates these type of fucking ideas so they can divide people more, so they can conquer more of what they need. It's the whole divide and conquer tactic. That's what it is. And that's why identity politics shouldn't matter. I guess you could say they do, but all for the wrong reasons. Just for example, as a total deflection, but for example, why in the Democratic primaries, why the superdelegates shouldn't matter, but they do because of all the wrong fucking reasons. So, Benjamin, you're wrong. I probably wasn't as thorough of explaining this, but whatever. I mean, I get sick of identity politics. It's been around for a long time. It's always going to be around. It's never going to die, but I don't know. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, identity politics is so fucking stupid to me. And to know that so many people, and whether it's establishment identity politics, whether it's like woke left identity politics, whether it's right-wing identity politics, whether it's like some weird centrist identity politics, it's everywhere, and it's so gross. It's so disgusting. And I'm not saying I'm not complicit in it. Like, I'm sure what I'm doing is a form of identity politics. I mean, because again, it's like, I don't think it's anything that can actually be like removed entirely from the political conversation. It's just that how people perceive it or interpreting identity politics is just utterly fucking wrong. I mean, I guess basically what I'm saying is the definition of identity politics needs to change, because how it is now is utterly gross and disgusting. But anyway, that's that thing. I got some tweets I wanted to look at too, but I'm going to take another hit because that's what I do. I actually got a few things here. I might not look at one. I have 3 tweets, but I want to see which one I want to look at instead. Well, I have like 3, but I want to do 2. So I think I'll do this one and this one. So I have like something on Bill Gates about like a wealth tax thing. You know what? I'll talk about it for a second. Here, let me pull it up before I take my hit. So it says this is a whole thread. On a wealth tax that Bill Gates is talking about, I guess. So it's a whole fat thread. It just goes all the way down. But anyway, I'm just gonna kind of read over it and just do a quick little summary, I suppose. I paid over $10 million in taxes. I've paid more than anyone in taxes. I don't think that's true. If I had to pay $20 million, it's fine. But when you say I should pay $100 billion, did I say million for all that? Then I'm starting to do a little math over what I have left over. Bill Gates, you're fucking rich, dude. Get over it. Gates on whether he'd meet with Elizabeth Warren. I'm not sure how open-minded she is. Okay. Yeah. What, open-minded to not tax the rich? Fuck you. Or is she even willing to sit down with someone who has large amounts of money? She is. She's definitely willing to. I just love this. Like, I love his skepticism. It's just like, dude, Bill, you're not fooling anybody, man. Like, for me, this is like I don't know exactly what you would call it. I'm blanking on the word. But it's basically the idea of it is to basically to fool people into thinking that, and like, because for example, we got Bernie, who's obviously I would say is the best case scenario for the Democratic primary, right? He would be the best case, or Andrew Yang. You know, pick like one of your more genuine actual candidates, Bernie, Yang, whoever. And then you got the candidates like Warren, right? You know, who kind of seem like they are, you know, somewhat progressive and shit, like Warren, Tulsi, etc., but have glaring problems, very glaring problems that make them very distrustworthy. And then you got the corporate establishment Democrats. So this whole idea is to make the ones that are untrustworthy, like that seem like, you know, are in your favor, but at the end of the day might not be, and it will just continue to do the status quo, kind of like Obama, and Clinton too. It's an idea that it will be like, oh, see, Bernie ain't gonna make it, which very likely he won't. So let's get someone like Warren in there, because at least, you know, yeah, she might, you know, call me out a little bit, but if I could talk to her enough in the behind back rooms, then maybe I can make my punishment a little less harsh. That's the whole idea. So then they could continue playing the game and playing the rigged system, and then we can have somebody who kind of does milquetoast decent things that makes things, quote, slightly better, when at the end of the day it don't do fucking shit. So I'm pretty sure it's a bait and switch, but I don't know exactly what that was, what that specifically is called. But if anyone knows, pop down chat or something like that. But anyway, Bill Gates says he's open to taxing philanthropic gifts to private foundations. Yeah, I would do open to it. I'd be in favor of that, but of course he would just be, quote, open. Should we abolish billionaires? Maybe I'm just too biased to think that if you create a company that's super valuable, that at least in what dictates this anyway? Like, oh, is Apple, because it has so much money and shit, is it all of a sudden like very valuable? Or is Samsung suddenly very valuable because, you know, they make a pretty milquetoast whatever smartphone and shit, and, you know, the TV I'm watching it off of? Like, I mean, are they valuable because of that? No, they're not. They're valuable because they can make a product, and that's really it. Like, I would legit be just fine, you know, having this TV. It feels like some utility and shit or whatever, and not just some like weird private I don't care. Like, as long as it's there, it's there. You know? I mean, it's like I don't know. I have quips about that one. That at least in some part that you should be able to have a little bit for consumption and the balance to do philanthropic things. And I'm not even against that. Like, I mean, if someone has their own little business and shit, I don't mind the owners of it having a little bit of it. I mean, because like, that's not a concept that I'm outright against. It's the literal outright exploitation and just extraction of the wealth that's caused by that idea being fucking misconstrued. On why he doesn't spend his billions on U.S. elections. I actually like that he doesn't do this, really. Though I have a feeling that he still does, just not to the extent that others do. I don't know much about him, but whatever. You know, it's just like, basically, he's just kind of talking about, you know, his positions on, like, oh, Jeff, what? I made a mistake on judgment that I thought would be, those discussions would lead literally to billions of dollars to global health. Oh, my God. As if money leads to good global health. God, get the fuck out of here with that. And I gave him some benefit by association, so I made a doubly wrong mistake there. Or at least I guess he, at least via interview, owns it. Or whatever. You know, I just thought I'd check it out at least. But there wasn't really much for me to say on it. You know, it's just like after I looked at it a few times, I'm just like, eh. It's working on a book about climate change. Profiting off of the world going on fire. I'm not surprised. Anyway, I'll get into that in a second. I'm going to take my another hit real quick, though, first. Because this one I'm probably going to get a little ragey over. Anyway. Maybe not, like, actually raged, but, you know, just angry. Because, God, I mean, I'm not even angry, honestly. It just... just like, I don't know, you know, just that feeling that isn't necessarily hatred, anger, or anything, but just that like, just that feeling that you aren't surprised, but you know you're still pissed anyway. You know, it's just like it's that feeling, but you're not surprised about it. You know, I mean, but as you can kind of tell, it's a little 20-second little thing, and it's just basically, you know, mainstream media horseshit, which. Oh boy, I can't wait to hear it because I'm just looking at the poll that they're having right now. So here's the top 3. Joe Biden, 27%. I don't know how he's still at 27%. How are you on such a... How are you, like, at 27, dog? Like, what the hell? Rigged game. And Warren, 23%. And Sanders is at 19. And then Buttigieg is at 6 with Klobuchar at 5. Oh my God. Whoa, wait, what? Klobuchar is at 5? Oh my God. What the fuck? Oh my God, you can't tell me this is not rigged. And then you have Kamala Harris. Oh my God, she's up by 3. Oh my God, whoa. No, Kamala... No, not Kamala. Klobuchar is up by 3. The only people who are up... Oh, hold on. Is the pull up? Oh, no, it's not. Here. We're actually... Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. Klobuchar is up. What? The only ones who are up are Sanders and Klobuchar. What? What the fuck? Isn't Andrew Yang, like, 5th or 4th, between like 4th to 6th nationally? Like, isn't he on average like 5th nationally in polls? Like, he should literally be replacing Kamala Harris, and then Kamala should be where Klobuchar is, and Klobuchar shouldn't be on here. Like, what is this, dude? What is this? Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm just... Man. God, just... I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, how can... Like, how? Besides the fact that it's rigged, how? How's Klobuchar rising? It's like the Borg collective, like, rising now? Like, is the Klobuborg, like the Klobuchar Borg, like, rising? Like, what the hell? If you wonder what I mean by is she Borg, like, if you look in 4th Democratic debate, she literally at one point says, and when we become president, we will, like, she says it as a we instead of referring to herself. So it's just like, what are you, the Borg? Like, are you actually like a hive mind? Are you like the queen of a collective? Like, oh shit. I'm starting to believe that she might actually be a Borg, you know? Like, I mean, and knowing that she's starting to kind of collect her hive, and the hive is starting to spread and got up by like 3 points or some shit. Like, oh God, dude. We haven't even started the video. Like, the video, like, the one thing I wasn't even wanting to look at was the video, not even the polling data. It was just the video. And I haven't even done the video yet. And we're already just like, what the fuck? It's like, what the hell, man? Like, it's not even, like 0.001 second in, and we're already like, what the literal fuck, man? Anyway, let me go on the main screen now. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Trends for you. What triggers liberals? Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that later. That looks funny. Actually, fuck, I can't. I wish I could do open new tab. Like, come on, Twitter.
The interesting question is going to be the rabid following that Bernie Sanders has and has had for years now. If they again are disappointed that he does not become the nominee, which, to be honest, is doubtful, okay, that he's going to be the nominee, what do? Do they walk again? Do they not vote again?
And his
The interesting question is going to be...
Really? That was it? And, yeah. At least I am. Hold on. Let's just hear that again.
Do they walk again? Do they not vote again?
Yeah, we don't, because you haven't earned our fucking vote, you stupid shit. Yeah. Yeah. It's called, you have to earn the vote, bitch. And if a candidate hasn't earned my vote, they don't get it. So yeah, I am going to walk. And yeah, I'm not going to vote. What a stupid fucking gotcha, dude. Let's look at the tweet, because it was like, Bernie's followers are rabid. Okay. Bernie's nomination is doubtful. That's like the only thing I agree with. Like, I am doubtful that he is going to be nominated. I am. I really am. That doesn't mean I still don't support him, and I still like the guy, and I still will, like, vote for him in the primary at least, just in hopes that he can make it. But I'm not going to, like, be outright upset if he doesn't make it. That's the difference between a lot of people who will rather go vote for that milquetoast Dem in comparison to people who are more which I love how this is a talking point against this, but it's just like having high standards, and that's like a negative thing apparently to some people, not to everybody, just to some people. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Nah, bro, I am gonna have high standards. Fuck you. Like, I don't. Like, if we don't, then at that point, are we just openly complicit and okay at that point with taking it up the ass by the system? Because at least having the standards shows that we're not okay with it. You know, we're still taking it up the ass like everyone else, but, you know, at least we acknowledge that it's fucked up, you know? Like, I'd rather, I don't know, it's just so dumb. This whole, like, oh, you know, these Bernie bros, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, fuck you. It's like, you're literally the problem with the system. And I love how she just blindly just stares off into space, like, not giving a shit. Like, yeah, but I'll let him keep talking. Yeah, ma. Yeah, he's right. He's correct with his point. Indeed. Always, you know, yep, always right. That's right. You can keep taking your taco boys. Oh, my God. It's just so stupid. It's just so dumb, dude. I just love it. I just love it. Anyway, let's look at some other fun stuff. So this is the Amazing Atheist, but he wanted to share some data with us. So terrible, but not at least shocking to me, nor to me. The CDC reports the suicide rate for young people rose 56% this decade. So ages 10 to 14. Man, when kids like 10 to 14 are killing themselves, there's some shit. There's something wrong. I guarantee you it probably isn't just bullying. But ages 15 to 19 from 2000 was at 8%, kind of was around there. But since 2014, it just went up to 12%. And then 20 to 24, my age range, because I'm 22, so I'm in the middle, it rose up from a suicide rate per 100,000. So this is 160,000 plus. So probably like 165 something. Okay, so that's what. Okay. Anyway, let's look at the article, since you know, it's not just the data that, you know, right here that, you know, is important. But also, before we do, let's just check out some of the people that are mentioning some shit in these tweets. It's almost like working long hours and being underpaid, having a mountain of medical or student debt, or just lack of access to mental health care doesn't do wonders for someone's mental well-being. Go figure. And yeah, go figure, dude. In fact, you know what? I forgot to retweet this. I'm retweeting that. And I'm going to retweet this as well. Boom. Retweet some shit. Retweet some shit. What the fuck? What is this? Drugs. Unable to philosophically cope with nihilism. Okay. I'm liking both because I find both to be kind of funny and absurd. Anyway, let's look at the CDC shit. So, suicide is Gen Z's second leading cause of death and is worse epidemic than anything millennials has faced at age. The suicide rate for people aged 10 to 24 increased by 56% between 2007 to 2017, according to new data from the CDC. For children aged 10 to 14, the suicide rate tripled between 2007 to 2017 after years of decline. Suicide has increased among millennials, but the data suggests that Gen Z might be most at risk for mental illness. For more story, no. I love it. I love that tiny. I love how it actually puts it as a bullet point for everything. But anyway, why Gen Zers might be facing mental health crisis even worse than millennials did. The new data suggests that Gen Z, or a generation of Americans born during 1997 onward. Well, I guess that solves the idea if I'm a millennial or not. I kind of tend to have a mentality of one, I suppose. I don't know. I don't care. Might be seeing a mental health crisis even worse than the faced by the older millennial generation. Since 2014, millennials, or people who have turned 23 to 38 in 2019, have seen a 47% increase in major depression diagnoses. Deaths of despair or dying from suicide, alcohol, and drugs increased millennial population in the last 10 years. And they're more likely to report feeling lonely than other generations. And honestly, I would definitely feel like this is outright just totally true. I mean, fuck, just look at the state. Just look at the state of affairs. I mean, if it's not just the fact that the world's shit, climate change is fucking making life and hell, you know, just more of a hell for everybody to live in, not just people, but other life too. And top of that, ocean's getting acidic. Most of large ocean fish are just gone. Like 1/3 of bird populations in Europe gone. Insects dying at massive rates and shit. Like, I mean, all this random shit, dude. Like, if it's not that, it's the fact that, you know, it's just like, oh, you got some drudgery shit job that you have to like work and barely make minimum wage, and you have like mountains of student debt because you were bought this idea that going to college is actually going to, you know, turn things around, and, you know, getting a bachelor-based career job will solve it all. Like, you know, if it ain't that, it's all, you know, when you add everything together, the fact that, you know, people don't, you know, kind of slowly lose, you know, connections with friendships and connections with people that, you know, they've, you know, made in high school, if they did, you know, whether small or big, you know, it's just like no, all this shit, combine it at all, on top of probably living in a shitty, you know, household growing up, probably abusive parents or neglectful parents, and maybe not, you know, combine all these different fucked up variables that are just in our everyday lives, and to some extent people feel this shit. Like, everyone knows, at least to some extent, one of those variables I just talked about, you know, or more. And I know all of that, and more, honestly. Like, there's more variables that could keep going, you know, that can really honestly emphasize the point. And when you, I mean, fuck, like, when there's like peak, like, it tied us in with the whole idea about like incels and shit too. Like, when people like can't, you know, when it's just like you can't have relationships, you can't have it, you can't go out and get it because of, you know, your mental health issues or shit. You know, you're too busy, you know, working a minimum wage bullshit job, barely making it by as is, so you don't have time to go out and, you know, do shit with yourself and be productive or whatever, and go out and make relationships, friendships, sexual or not. You know, it's just like combine it all together. And yeah, go figure. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that if you just make the whole system a little more shittier and shittier, and don't actually account for fucking problems in people's lives, and don't actually have some basic empathy, some basic, simple, broad, generalized empathy, just blank slate for anyone regardless, and go from there, then yeah, you wonder why the system's so fucked and why people are at record rates of suicide. And also, on a broad level, suicide rates are higher since, like, they're the highest they have been literally since fucking World War II. We have not seen suicide epidemic like this since fucking World War II, dog. Like, because during World War II, the suicide rates dropped because of the Great Depression, because and even shortly before World War II even begun, they were starting to have a decline because of the New Deal and policies by FDR and shit. You see a lot of these. You see the suicide rate trends tie in with a lot of things that happen with your country and shit. And when the suicide rate dropped, just before and during World War II, makes sense considering the policies done by FDR and also the fact there was a fucking war. And after that, there came this economic boom. And then suicide rates were down for the longest time. And then, there's times and periods where it kind of popped up for a bit and dropped. There's times, it's not like suicide just disappeared. And then about, I don't know, since the 2000s here, they've just been rising and rising and then just have been at record numbers. And they haven't stopped. And it's the fact that we have a shit education system, a shit healthcare system that does not even hardly ever account for mental health. And if it does, very poorly by just pumping drugs in you thinking that'll fix it. And also, on top of that, the use of social media even, especially at very young ages. Like, I'm sure a lot of from 10 to 14, tripled since 2007. I guarantee, you don't think social media use has a factor in that? I guarantee you it does. I guarantee you it very well does. Like, France, I believe, bans cell phone usage, period. No ifs, ands, or buts in their education system for elementary, middle, and high school. And honestly, I'm in favor of shit like this because, we don't know what these fucking ramifications of social media use and the technological use that we have does. And honestly, what we have so far is really fucking bad. From at least some correlating evidence that could be very well variable. So far, the variables that can be tied in with it looking pretty negative, if I do say myself. But I don't know. I can go on and on about this, honestly, because, something that, now, I'm not like suicidal shit, but I fucking have to struggle with depression every goddamn fucking day. And it's something that that is a fundamental issue in my life. Yeah. But, knowing that there are people that just can't take it anymore. And fuck, I felt like that way so many times. Just continuing the reciprocalness of shit. But regardless, it's just like knowing that people take this exit option is, kind of terrifying. Not really so for myself, because I'm not worried about myself, suffering from this shit. Not at all. It's just that, the fact that there is no outlets and no options and or at least these people that do commit suicide don't feel like those are out there. I do feel like I have outlets, to not feel that way. At least that, so far that, down that path that I'm just outright suicidal and shit. But, it's just like people don't feel like those are there. And when they're not there, especially tied in with all the shit that just keeps dredging them down and making them poorer and poorer and making them more in debt, whether it's student or medical, yeah, honestly, it would make sense to take that exit. But, shit, that's what, with my nihilistic approach with shit, I'm just going to take it off here for a while. But with my nihilistic approach, you would think, well, why don't you then? Why aren't you considering the exit? Because I am an outright pessimist, nihilist, cynicalist. I consider myself all three of those things. And, it's because it's just, why not? Why? I guess the better is why. Because for me, I'm doing it because I'm continuing, because why not? Yeah, shit's fucked up, but there's also the hypothetical that, 10 years down the line, things could be better, at least for myself, So it's, there's always that future in knowing that, hey, the world's a fucking crazy, interesting place anyway, so might as well enjoy the ride. regardless, right? It's all, it's just having a different mindset, and people get so locked in to being just used up like a fucking worker ant, and, don't have time for themselves to contemplate thought and to contemplate ideas and philosophy and shit, and to contemplate, perspectives in other people's, and participate with other people's time. When you're just working 1 or 2 or even 3 or 4 minimum wage, barely fucking making it jobs, and you're still having to, barely pay bills of that, and, if that, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. But with, I don't know, like, my perspective with it is just that it needs to, like, for me, it's just knowing that I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what my perspective is, to be honest with you, as to why. It's just that the world's an interesting place, and it's fun to see it. And it is, when you do have the time to, make time out, to go out and do shit, then why would you feel like you need to, off yourself and shit? And like, I mean, I guess it's just mainly just to put myself in the shoes of, like, people that literally are like, nope, there's literally nothing. Now, maybe they're wrong. And you know what? They probably are. Honestly, people, like, I can understand why someone would kill themselves. Do I agree that they did it? No. I still think what they did was not a good idea. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I, shouldn't just, like, force them not to. Like, I can't really do that. But especially if it's someone who's young, it's just like, no, you're fucking better than that, at least mentally, to that extent. It's just like, a part of that perspective is just trying to work into trying to find at least outlets to make yourself more comfortable. It's the whole John Milton idea of making a heaven of hell, basically. Like, instead of, while I feel like there is a hell and a heaven, I'd rather be in hell, or I can at least make a heaven of that. Because then at least there I have control. I can, manipulate it into my own little heaven in the midst of a whole burning hell. While, in heaven, I have no control, so I'm just living a hell amidst a heaven. I do, adhere to that philosophy. I think that's where the root of my, like, why not, off yourself, that's it. I would say that's the root of it. Because if you at least try that, then at least, making the attempts of that will, at least for me, not occupy yourself in that type of mentality. And and honestly, I can't even really think the last time I've thought that way anyway. But anyway, I went on a whole long, deeper philosophical rant than I thought with this, but holy shit. Anyway, I had one more thing, but meh, do I even want to go through it? Oh my god, I don't want to. It's some YouTube policy shit. When I was doing this, I saw, like, a term of services will be updated December 10th, 2019. I don't want. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even want to go for this. Nah, fuck this. Fuck that. No, I'm just not. I'm just not. Oh god, that just looked like some gobbledygook. I'm not about that gobbledygook. Bleh. All right, well. Well, that was a depressing Ignarist take. Jeez. Well, hey. Just remember, there was Football Cat. We'll always remember Football Cat. And I guess we can also remember that Richard Spencer's a little bitch boy, too. We can always remember he's a little bitch boy. All right, well, I'll smirk out this last little bowl, and I'm getting out of here now myself. So, Hope y'all enjoyed. And if not, well, whatever. I don't care. You do what you please, sir. You could just do what you goddamn please. Alrighty. Y'all have a good one, you bitches. Bitches. Enjoy your night. Or morning or day, wherever it is.